Hello! Welcome back to Steve's Corner. Happy 4th of July. Hey man, real quick, I want to thank everybody for well wishes and keeping me reminded to continue to do my stretches because of my back injury last week. I'm feeling a whole lot better today. I told the wife this morning I was probably about 75%. I could probably do anything I wanted to do, but I'm still in that leery stage where I want to give it another week or so in order to make sure I don't re-injure it so quick. And so yesterday, man, I was went over to help my neighbor over there cut some brush. He's got some brush at the back of his yard, and it was briars or what it was. Blackberries, actually. I got me a couple of pints of blackberries yesterday after we trimmed them back. But they were sending shoots out like this, and every time he come by there on the daggone lawnmower, he'd be cut up. Looked like he got hold of a wildcat or something. So I went over there and helped him get those up, and it ain't bothered me since. So, but I'm still leery on that. I'm just paying attention to things the next couple of weeks. How's that? I haven't gotten back to my regular routine yet. I'm slowly doing that. And the stretching is something I've always done anyways. It's part of my regular morning routine. Stretch my back and everything. But now I'm to the age I'm gonna have to stretch every time I take my shoes and socks off and on. It was just a way for me to giggle at myself. It was because I'm my own worst enemy, man. And just about every daggone time I've ever been injured in my life was because of my own stupidity. When I was a kid, I'll never forget it. I had and I went in school. Mom and Dad lived across the river over in town, and I got hit in the nose. The boy busted me upside the nose with a 2x4, and I give him the board, and it was still my fault. We were just little kids. He might have been 5. I was probably 3 or 4. But I remember because I had to be rushed to the hospital and get stitches in it and everything. Because if it had just been just a hair one way or the other, I could have lost my whole eye. But we were playing in the backyard. He was visiting. He was in from Kentucky. I remember the guy was from Kentucky for some reason. I can't remember what he looks like or nothing, but I just know he was visiting the neighbor next door, and he'd come over to play with me. And we was grabbing them hard green berries out the tree and throwing them at each other. They weren't crab apples. I don't know exactly what kind of berry they were. It was just a trash tree that was in the backyard. And we'd run out of them. We couldn't get no more off the tree. But I helped him get up to the first limb, and he could pull some down. Well, there was a big pile of them up there he couldn't get a hold of. He says, how about him and that stick over yonder? And I grabbed a board there laying in the yard and give it to him. And I was standing there watching him when he threw the board, and he threw it right at me, hit me right daggone in the nose. Busted it wide open. It was my fault. It was just kids playing, but it was something. But so yeah, I try to Steve-proof my life. Because if there's any possible way I can injure myself, it's going to happen. And that was just a fluke. All I did was reach forward to take my sock off, and it would pop like that. So, that's just like me. It wasn't like I was picking a car up off of somebody that was trapped or anything. Nah, I was taking my sock off. But anyways, the 4th of July, happy 4th of July, man. I've always loved 4th of July, man. I've always loved to watch the fireworks shows. I have. Ever since I was a kid, man. I think it's just amazing. Now they sync it up to music and all kinds of stuff. It's just amazing what them guys can do. And I like to watch them. We can't have them here in Virginia. Technically, we ain't supposed to have anything that explodes or shoots up in the air or whatever. Sparklers and them little poppers and things, about all we can have here. But I remember when the kids were little, over here where I live at, the houses on this side of the road, have a smaller front yard, but the ones on that side of the road have like double the size of the front yard and a smaller backyard, and it's just reverse on this side. Gives you more space between houses, you know. And but you know, Connie's from down there at the state line in South Carolina, right there between South Carolina and North Carolina. And Dillon down there is where Mama's from, and that's the closest place to us so you can get actual fireworks. And we used to go down when the kids were little. We was going down to Carolina all the time, and so we'd always pick up some of them mortars they got down there. You go down there at the border, man. I think there's all kinds of places down there that have them real good fireworks, and they even had videos of how they look when they're popping up. They got somebody shoot them off, and they'll video it and be playing on the camera there, so you can pick and choose what one you want. But we'd always go down there and bring back a few, and we'd walk across the street there. We'd have a little neighborhood kind of fireworks show. You know, 4 or 5 close neighbors here, and we'd just go over at my buddy's house across the street there and pop them things off. And those are nice, man. Those are nice. I didn't know they'd sell something like that to the public. But the kids gather around and they'd play in the yard there and have a little ice cream. Every year, in the wintertime, if it was when the kids were little, if we got snow, I'd make a handful of snowballs, and I'd put them in the freezer bag, stick them in the refrigerator, in the freezer in the shed there, and let the kids play with them for July 4th. You couldn't throw them at each other. It'd be like throwing a block of ice, but it would be just something neat that they like to do. You know, kids are amazed by all kinds of stuff, just like me. I'm the only child. I told a cousin of mine a couple of months ago that he was asking about the kids, and I said they're doing pretty good. I says I always tell people that Connie raised 3 kids, the 2 we had together and me, and I was her only failure. He got a kick out of that. But so yeah, we used to do that. Lay them on the driveway and see how long it'd take them to melt in the middle of July heat. And summer's about over with, halfway. I always consider it halfway, you know it's not. But it's a warm time of year. This year, I might even go ahead and have me a couple of s'mores. I've only done that once or twice this year. Usually on the weekends I like to try to do that. But I love them fireworks, man. I think it's great. The thing is, if you go anywhere nowadays, it's so crowded and so many people, and the parking and stuff is just outrageous. But so we rarely go anywhere. We used to go up to daggone Richmond every year. I don't go up to Richmond unless I got to. But we used to have a AAA baseball team, Richmond Braves. Used to be they were AAA for Atlanta Braves. And every year at 4th of July, they always had a nice fireworks show up yonder. And we got Fort Lee right down the road. They usually have a pretty nice one too. So, used to at work, when I was at work, you could see them, especially if you go up one of the tall buildings we had over there at the plant, you could see them from Fort Lee up yonder. So I doubt we'll go anywhere. Y'all be safe if you do. And oh yeah, this morning we was cutting up daggone watermelon. David bought one yesterday, and we cut it up and put it in the refrigerator so it'd be starting to chill. We just come back from Kroger. They had 10 pounds of peaches. She's plans on making a peach pie too today, so we bought some ice cream to go with it. We're about out, so it's gonna be a good 4th of July down here. Happy birthday, America. But anyways, man, y'all take care of yourselves, and see if I can't have some of them other videos out next week, starting next week. Repairing damage work in the garden and cleaning the shed and junk like that. I appreciate y'all's well wishes and helpful advice on that. I do them stretches. It was just a fluke, so I'll get over it. Y'all take care of yourselves, man. Enjoy your holiday, and we'll talk with y'all later.